I've had to make statements like this too many times. Communities like this have had to endure tragedies like this too many times. We don't have all the facts, but we do know that, once again, innocent people were killed in part because someone who wanted to inflict harm had no trouble getting their hands on a gun.
And there you go. Never let a tragedy go to waste is basically Obama's theory. Joining us now on the Malzberg panel, Brad Hirschfield. I'm all choked up over Brad. Author of You Don't Have to Be Wrong for Me to Be Right, president of CLAL and the WisdomDaily.com. And in this corner, Adam Thompson, senior partner and owner of the law offices of Adam Thompson, oddly enough, criminal defense attorney, and syndicated talk host, and AdamThompsonLaw.com. All right, guys, let me start with you, Brad. It took the president about 6 seconds to race to the podium and exploit this horrific tragedy for gun control.
I think he made a big mistake. I get the impulse. It's just wrong. The bodies haven't even been released by the coroner. Whatever you think about gun control, and the truth is, Steve, I'm probably a little closer to the president to you, though not much, it's just wrong. And by the way, we should be clear, when he then went on to say, which is much worse, I think we're very generous, the quote you got was the lightest part.
I know, then he trashed the country.
He went on to say, you know, this doesn't happen in advanced countries. Now, the funny thing about that is, on the list of G20 countries with gun deaths per 10,000, we're fourth. We're not first, we're not second, we're not third, we're fourth. And in fact, Brazil and Mexico have 4 times as many as we do, which is about the same ratio we have to Canada, which the president invokes for its, gun safety and healthy gun culture all the time. So that's a funny thing. Now add to that Donald Trump said, admittedly, some really stupid things about Mexico and Mexican immigrants, and he was taken to the woodshed on it. The truth is, who's going to turn to the president and say, Mr. President, you just talked about how advanced countries deal with things and completely dissed Mexico and Brazil?
Yeah, well, Adam, what about it?
Well, I'm sure, let me just start off by saying I'm sure I speak for all of us that our hearts go out to these families. This is a tragedy, that unfortunately seems to be happening more and more in this country. So it's very sad that we see this trend seem to be increasing rather than decreasing.
But we're really not seeing mass shootings increasing. In fact, they're decreasing. The ones that are happening are sensational, but it's really not increasing, Adam.
I hope that statistic is right. But I will say this, because we've said this many times before on your show, Steve. The president seems to make the wrong statement at the wrong time. If he wants to have a podium for gun control, I don't know this close in time to the event happening if it's the right time to have that dialogue. Down the line, certainly, because everyone's going to be ringing the bell saying, oh, this kid got a gun. How did he get the gun? Well, it was through the father. It wasn't as if he got it. There'll be a million different issues that are raised. But right now, let's have a little peace for the family. Let's give a little consoling to the family. Let's try to calm the situation, get the facts, get this kid prosecuted before we start having a referendum on gun control. Right. Again, wrong time, too soon, at a line state.
I got kind of a yes or no, 10 seconds for each of you. Brad, Bill Donahue questions whether the media would respect and care about the venue of the church as much had it been a black shooter instead of a white shooter. What do you say? They definitely would have. We know the last 2 mass church shootings were about 5 years ago in a Sikh temple, and before that it was an entirely white congregation, a Unitarian Universalist church. So yeah, I don't think we should overplay the race thing in either direction. What about it, Adam?
Yeah, I agree. Race isn't an issue. Wrong is wrong. Right is right. What's moral or immoral? There should be clear.
One state lawmaker from South Carolina blamed Fox News in part, and Jake Tapper let him skate on it on CNN. We're coming back.
Front page of the Washington Post. They sometimes think they're Pope. But headline, Pope urgent on climate change, leaked draft of encyclical. A draft of a major environmental document by Pope Francis says the bulk of global warming is caused by human activity and calls on people, especially the world's rich, to take steps to mitigate the damage by reducing consumption and reliance on fossil fuels. It goes on. There is a consensus growing
Yes, all of a sudden he praises the Pope. Welcome back to the Malzberg panel. Brad Hirschfield is here. Adam Thompson is here. You know, again, with all due respect to the Pope, and we had Bill Donahue here, who, you know, feels much the same way I do. I mean, you know, Brad, the Pope wants to ban air conditioning. And Bill Donahue said Catholics' eyes are going to roll when they see that. The Pope is not a scientist, and the Pope doesn't know any more than you or I know. I've talked to more scientists and meteorologists than the Pope has, with all due respect. So I say there's not man-made global warming.
Well, look, people can differ on this. The majority of science is on his side, but it doesn't matter. The difference between you, me, and the Pope... I
don't agree with that either.
Okay, but that's, again, an opinion. You, me, and the Pope are different one way. He is the leader of 1.1 billion people. So even though I think he got certain things terribly wrong here, it is his position to take a position. Now, we can disagree. My concerns with what he did here are twofold. They're not even global warming. The apocalyptic language, the end of the world language, the if you don't do what I say, massive crop failures, total displacement of populations.
Al Gore-ish in nature?
It's so over the top. And the track record of religious leaders, when they go over the top, when you have the power of invoking God, and then go of biblical proportions, when there is, I said, majority of opinion, but there's real division on this, I don't think is so responsible. The other piece of it is, it was a full-on lashing out at anyone who supports capitalism or free markets. And I think you have to be very, very careful when you, from a religious vantage point, side entirely on one side of an economic debate.
And not only that, Adam, the people like Joe Biden and the left who are championing this, encyclical by the Pope have to read the whole encyclical. And he ties it to and gives just as much stress to right to life, trashes abortion, trashes population control. So they're picking and choosing, they're cherry picking here what they want to, hey, look, the Pope agrees with me, but disagrees with you on your other fundamental, what to you is basically a religion, not you, Adam, but the left, abortion.
I think Brad makes great points. I just want to expand on some of them. First of all, when you listen to this message, it almost seemed like the Vatican coming attraction reel for 2012 in a reboot, with all the apocalyptic tones to it. The Pope isn't the guy to go to for scientific information. We have scientists around the world who do that. He's a religious leader. The fact that he's invoking a position, almost bringing it to a scientific level, really seems odd to me. And for the White House to be quoting the Pope on issues involving science also seems weird. Go to the experts in those areas. I don't like the cherry picking, like you said, Steve. There was a whole list of different topics that were raised or discussed, and they cherry picked the ones that, again, shoot their, that go to their agenda. I don't like when that's done. The Pope, to me, isn't a reference for scientific information. Let's go to real experts in that field. Let the Pope stick to religion and his area.
All right, we have a ruling from the U.S. Supreme Court, not on Obamacare, not yet, although they got to hurry up with that one. But we have a ruling that Texas, the state of Texas, can refuse to issue Confederate flag license plates, saying that it's not a matter of free speech, it's a matter of state speech. I don't have a problem with that if the state of Texas then says, well, you also can't have a pro-abortion license plate. Now, I don't know if those exist, but either you let people express themselves politically or you don't. Adam, so where do you fall legally on this?
You just made a really great point.
Thank you. I'd like to thank all the little people who made it possible.
The decision says that it's a state or government speech issue, not a private citizen speech issue. If you want to promote that you believe in you're a white supremacist, they can't limit your ability to put a bumper sticker, say, on the back of your car. As repugnant as it may be, you still have the right to free speech. But when it's state-sponsored, like here, they're saying that the state could then regulate what they want on the back. But you make the point. Why is pro-life or other issues, or we're against or for coal?
Right. Why should that government be able to pick and choose? That final word from Brad Hirschfield.
So the difference in this case is that, although I do largely agree with you, Steve, is that they didn't ban all Confederate battle flags. They banned the ones that come from the sons of, I think it's sons of Confederate Veterans is the name of the organization, which has become a very powerfully political organization over the last 10 years. Had it been the old version of the organization, which just wanted to remember the Confederacy, they'd be dead wrong.
right.
But since they've gone further than that, they actually have a leg to stand on here.
Brad and Adam, thank you. Great discussion. We'll speak to you both soon. Cartoonist Ted Roll is next.